Okay, hi everyone. It is Dr. Michelle Ross. We are here for Wellness Wednesdays. We're starting a little bit late today. We had, again, some technical issues. Facebook doesn't like it when we say the word mushroom. It thinks that we're talking about selling mushrooms as drugs or something like that. So we're a little bit late, but late is better than never. So just a little reminder, I'm the Director of Education here at Spore Life Sciences, and the goal of Wellness Wednesdays every week is to answer your questions about mushrooms, health, mental health, anything that really comes up in your journey to becoming healthy and optimizing your life. So we've had some questions in the Facebook group that are awesome. We've had some people submit questions via our Instagram at Spore Life Sciences, at our little Ask Dr. Ross story. So I'm going to read off some of the questions that we've been asked this past week and some of our responses. And that way, if anyone's joining us and you want to say, write your question in the Facebook comments, I can definitely help answer. So let's get started. Well, actually, we'll wait maybe like 20 seconds, 30 seconds to see if anyone pops in, because I know that we started late. So I'm sure some people are going, oh goodness, it's not happening, and dipped out. And hopefully with the Facebook Live notification back on, they'll come back in the group. Again, every Wednesday at 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST, we're here. And again, if this isn't a good time for you, let me know in the comments. So that way we can maybe schedule it for a time that all of us are engaged and are able to really, deep dive into our health. So I just want to let everyone know too, we are on the last week 4 of our Spore Mushroom Challenge. Now, if you are not familiar with the 30-day mushroom challenge, it's been a big thing that started on May 1st for all of us Spore community members that are new to mushrooms or trying to really dive in deeper. I provided a nice little workbook for each of the days that helps you understand, what, different tasks you're supposed to do on different days, whether it's sharing about mushrooms, whether it's reading different blog articles or tracking your health. That workbook is amazing. You can find it actually in the guide section under the 30-day mushroom challenge here in this Facebook group. And that workbook actually has a whole bunch of pages dedicated to tracking your health, how much you exercise, how much water you drink, your different meals for the day, really helping you be mindful about what you're putting into your body and how that's making you feel. And one of the things that you are putting into your body, of course, is mushrooms. Each of our Spore blends has different medicinal mushrooms. Some blends have other herbs or vitamins, minerals in them. So, we really want you to be more conscious of how your body is feeling so that you can know when it's hurting or when it's healing. And hopefully when you're putting mushrooms in, you're going to learn that, hey, I feel more relaxed, or I feel more focused, or I feel less pain, or I feel like my joints are moving again. Whatever it is that you're using Spore mushroom blends to improve your life with, hopefully those changes are happening. You're noticing them. Sometimes they're gradual. Sometimes they are, huge. Sometimes a little boost in energy, right, it means so much to you. So it's about, noticing how your brain feels, how your body feels, maybe changing some of your lifestyle habits to help you relax more, right? If you are using caffeine all the time, you're a little bit wired, but you don't feel like you have a lot of energy, right? Keeping track of it with the health tracker that's in that mushroom workbook can really help you understand, hey, some of the things that I'm doing are not actually benefiting my health. And even though Spore mushroom blends have a lot of medicinal benefits, really they're just one piece of the puzzle, right? Eating good, sleeping good, managing our stress, relaxing, taking, self-care, time to do self-care rituals and things like that. Those are so important. So again, Spore mushroom blends are one big important piece of the puzzle. Hopefully you've had some time to try them. I know some of us haven't, been able to start with day 1 of the Spore Mushroom Challenge, especially, if you're just new to this group and you're just popping in, you're like, goodness, there was a 30-day mushroom challenge and here I am on day 26. This is my first day in this Spore Mushroom group. Don't worry. We actually have some blog posts on our Spore Mushroom blog, and you can find that at sporelifesciences.com and then head to the blog. We actually have three recap posts. So we have a week 1, a week 2, and a week 3. So what's nice is you can go on there, you can download the workbook, you can see some of the articles that we're referencing, some of the videos. We have these nice Mushroom Monday videos where we dive into psychedelic mushrooms or mushrooms for immune health, mushrooms for fibromyalgia, a whole bunch of different things. So it's sort of nice. So, if you are new to the mushroom challenge or you missed a week or, whatever happened, if you were in the group the whole time and you just somehow didn't know that there was a mushroom challenge going on, you can definitely catch up. And I'm going to give you an incentive for catching up, actually, because a lot of people didn't realize that there's actually a giveaway happening at the end of the month. So on Memorial Day at 12 p.m. PST, I'll be announcing the winners of our Year of Spore giveaway. So for our challenge members here that have joined the Facebook group and have entered the challenge giveaway, again, that's a special link that's either in our Facebook group here or in the workbook, you can find that. But when you click on that link and you enter and you get different entries for either subscribing to our YouTube channel or listening to certain videos, different activities that are happening in the challenge, you can get more entries. And the big prizes, of course, are a year's worth of spore. So again, one of your spore blends, having 12 months of that, that's amazing, right? Big prize there. There's 5 winners. There's also going to be some winners too for people that have been active and actually using their workbook. So I'm going to ask a couple times this week for you to show me, say a filled out mushroom mantra or a mushroom mindset worksheet. What does your health tracker looks like, right? So if you haven't been working on that or you haven't busted out your challenge workbook, I want to see those, right? There's going to be some prizes, like I said, like swag, right? We've got some spore hats here. I can't put it on because I've got my glasses on. But we've got like this nice, awesome spore hat here. We've got some spore t-shirts. I'll also be giving away a free consultation with me. I'm a health coach that helps people, break free of pain and mental health issues with plant medicine, including mushrooms, so all natural methods. So there's definitely some prizes in store if you've been keeping up with the challenge. If not, you have some time to catch up. But all those prizes will be given away by Memorial Day, which is May 31st. So, the cutoff basically is the day before. So please, get caught up in reading or doing some of the workbook exercises and things like that. Now, of course, if your spore hasn't come in yet, don't worry. Again, we'll be actually doing the challenge again in a couple months, maybe a month or two. We'll see when it makes the most sense with our community. But you can actually participate in the challenge more than one time, right? You're always learning. There's always new things to do. And, you might be taking a new spore blend. So I would say, if you are participating and you've had your spore, definitely make sure that you fill out your workbook so we can go through it and you can win some awesome prizes. And if you haven't, you're just joining right now, don't worry. The Spore 30-day mushroom challenge, you can go through it yourself, minus the prizes. Or, again, join us in a couple of months when we do the challenge again. But again, my name is Dr. Michele Ross. I'm the Director of Education at Spore. If you just dropped in live right now into the Facebook group, just really excited again to provide some support on health and wellness. And again, as our Spore Facebook community, our mushroom community grows and gets bigger and bigger, we'll probably start moving these to Zoom calls so that we can all see each other's faces, talk on there, discuss some health challenges, mushrooms, and really get into it rather than me just, sort of shouting out some tips on Facebook. So speaking of questions and tips, one of the things that I did want to go over today was some of the questions that our Facebook mushroom community has brought up. And again, whether it's via Instagram on our Spore Life Sciences Instagram, whether it's through private messages, emails, to myself or our support team here at Spore Life Sciences, we definitely have a couple of recurring questions that pop up with mushrooms, and specifically our spore mushroom blend. So I wanted to answer them today for our Wellness Wednesday episode. So the first question I am going to answer, so we had will spore mushroom products make me fail a drug test? Do they have psilocybin? So basically, the other day on Mushroom Mondays, our host, Michael Zabit, had interviewed me about the science and legalization of psychedelic mushrooms. And I think that maybe that confused some of us in the community group, right? Because I think people thought, hey, maybe we have psychedelic mushrooms in our formulas. So I'm going to make it very clear here. None of our products have psilocybin containing mushrooms. I do know that there are some other companies out there with Spore in the name. Like there's a Spore nonprofit about psychedelic mushrooms. There's a company called Spore Wellness that sells psychedelic mushrooms, but Spore Life Sciences, which is our company, we don't sell any products with psychedelic mushrooms. So what that means is that there's not even like a speck of magic mushrooms in our formulas. You won't have to worry about whether you live somewhere legal or not legal for magic mushrooms, because they will never be in our formulas. You will never fail a drug test. All of our medicinal mushrooms, all of our functional mushrooms like lion's mane, cordyceps, maitake mushrooms, oyster mushrooms, all those kind of things, they're all legal. They're all foods. So they're totally safe to take. They will never, ever cause a failed drug test or anything like that. So just so you know, I do, want to stress that there are some places where magic mushrooms are legal, but again, I'm based here in Las Vegas in Nevada, so they're not legal here. They're not legal in most parts of the United States or Canada and other countries. So they do have a lot of benefits, but I want to stress that, while you might have heard that psilocybin mushrooms have a lot of benefits for mental health and things like that, again, they don't cure anything. So even though they have the word magic in them, nothing is magical. Nothing is a cure for anything, right? And I do want to stress that a lot of the medicinal mushrooms have the same kind of benefits that we see with some of the psychedelic mushrooms. For example, lion's mane is a really, really powerful mushroom that increases the levels of different growth factors in your brain. So it actually makes it very nice, healthy environment for healthy brain cell growth and, different brain cells connecting so you can wire your brain for health and really help your brain age really gracefully, throughout life. So again, improving your cognitive performance, your focus and things like that. A lot of the things that we attribute to psilocybin or taking these microdoses of psilocybin. So again, our formula doesn't have psilocybin. You won't fail a drug test. But I would say that don't worry, you're not missing out, because our formulas are formulated on improving focus, improving brain health. And again, you'll get a lot of those same benefits without having to worry about some of the illegality. Like you won't have to worry that you're failing a drug test, or you won't have to worry that you might get in trouble with the cops or something like that. All of our formulas are 100% legal. Okay. So the next question we had was, can I give my child with ADHD or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder? That's actually a condition where children can't focus. They might be impulsive, run around a lot, those kind of things. There's a lot of different symptoms there, but it's a real neurological disorder that's often treated with stimulants like Ritalin or Adderall. This mother was asking, can I give Spore Focus Performance Blend to my child with ADHD, perhaps as a substitute for Adderall and things like that? I know a lot of parents are worried about Adderall, worried about Ritalin and the effects on the developing brain. And I share those same concerns as a neuroscientist who did some research on stimulants. We know that stimulants can, be beneficial at times for adults, but they can also be beneficial at improving focus in children. But, there are some effects on the brain that are not great. It can reduce the number of new brain cells that are born in the developing brain. So, of course, with any medication, there are benefits and there are risks. And as a parent, you sort of have to balance that. The same thing with, natural supplements and things like that. So I want to stress that all of our supplements, all of our Spore mushroom blends, we do recommend that only adults take them. Even if your child has, focus problems like you see with ADHD, well, we don't really know how safe medicinal mushrooms can be for a child or a teenage brain. And the reason is because cordyceps, lion's mane, some of these, again, very powerful medicinal mushrooms that can even change how many, new brain cells are born in the brain, right? There are different times in development where maybe too many brain cells is a problem. We know that in the teenage years, we actually try to reduce the number of brain cell growth. we're pruning, we're rewiring the brain and things like that. And so you don't really want to mess up these like very important processes. The brain, the teenage brain or child brain is really developing really fast. So, while it might sound better, like cordyceps or lion's mane might sound safer than Adderall or Ritalin, for your child, I would really stress, hey, talk to your physician about medicinal mushrooms, see what they think. Again, some things might be safe with medication, some things might not. Again, all these things, even though I have a PhD, a doctorate in neuroscience, right? I can tell you in theory, some of these things could be safe or not safe, but really your doctor knows best, especially knowing your child's medical history or, their medication history, things like that. So again, I would say always be on the safe side. Don't give any of our mushroom blends to your children. Even if you think that it's a good idea, talk to your doctor first and make sure they understand what the ingredients are on the label. Again, not every ingredient has been tested in children. So, we stress that about any supplement, right? You're always supposed to talk to your doctor before you try a supplement. But I do, love the fact that parents are thinking about what's safe for their kids, what's good for their kids' brain health, right? We do know if you really want to go the natural route, it's like, eating more fish oil, getting your kids more exercise, a little yoga, things, to help improve their focus and things like that naturally can be very beneficial. But again, always talk to your doctor before trying something new. Okay, another question we had was, we had a question about, not feeling the effects of spore or a supplement. And so there are different blends, and we have blog posts on this, like, why do I have to take my spore every day? One big thing with feeling the effects of supplements, right? Some are very subtle, right? So if you are boosting your immune health, for example, maybe you feel a little bit more energized and things like that, but it's not like super overwhelming change. Whereas like some things, like say improving your focus so you can, do your work, sit at your desktop, crunching numbers or something for longer, you might feel the effects of that, just more obviously. So, some people don't respond to supplements, and I want to go over a couple of reasons, like why you might not respond and maybe how you could fix that. So, even when you have a high quality supplement, right, with really active ingredients that works in a lot of people, sometimes people don't respond to them. And there's a couple of reasons why. So, one is gut health. So think about a supplement, right? You're swallowing it, it's going, through your esophagus and your stomach. It's got to be digested with the stomach acid and everything in there. And then it's got to be absorbed through your intestines and get in your bloodstream, and then eventually to your brain or to your joints or to whatever organ, the immune cells and things like that, it needs to be working on, right? So those beta glucans, those active ingredients in the mushrooms have to get to the right place. Now, it's interesting because a lot of people that have chronic pain or depression or anxiety, obesity, immune system problems, they also have altered guts. And so what I mean by an altered gut is that, we eat a lot of foods, for example, like energy drinks or caffeine or, a lot of processed foods that can actually interfere with how healthy our gut is. And so some of us have ulcers, some of us have bad stomach lining, irritated stomach lining and things like that. Some of us eat things that we're actually slightly allergic to or sensitive to, like, for example, gluten, milk, cheese, things like that. Those tend to, in some people, cause inflammation and stomach lining and gut irritation. And so if your stomach is not doing well, and again, I would say 90% of Americans actually have an unhappy gut. That's a common problem with the American diet. If your gut isn't happy, it's not going to be able to absorb all the nutrients. And so think about if you take a daily vitamin and it wasn't able to absorb the vitamin A and B and C and D and things like that, your vitamin just sort of passed through you. That's actually what's happening to a lot of people. Then they eat their food, right? They're not absorbing the vitamins and nutrients from it. And the same goes with a supplement. If your gut isn't happy, it's going to have an issue. Taking out those medicinal mushrooms, taking the active ingredients and absorbing it through the gut and putting it into your bloodstream. So, you might want to look into things like food allergens, food sensitivities, cleanses, maybe things like that to help, figure out what might be triggering inflammation or even leaky gut. Leaky gut, for example, is something that most people don't know about. It's actually when your gut is actually damaged. The lining of your gut is damaged, and it's really, really hard to absorb nutrients. And then you're also like leaking out toxins in your bloodstream and things like that. So I really stress, if you are having issues where you're taking vitamins or even taking spore and you're not feeling something, would suggest looking at your diet, looking at how many inflammatory foods you might be eating, reconsidering whether you want to go on a cleanse or you want to do something, or you want to talk to a doctor about gut health. There's a lot of good YouTubes out there. There's a lot of good cookbooks and things like that. Definitely, if you have any autoimmune issues, you should look into how to heal your gut and things like that. Because again, it doesn't matter how many supplements, how many things you take, right? If your gut is not healthy, it's not going to absorb it and you're not going to get better. So sort of like healing your gut is sort of the foundation to really good health. And so if you don't have a good gut, it's going to be really hard to use food as medicine. It's going to be really hard to benefit from supplements and things like that. So you sort of want to go back to basics and say, is my gut happy, or does it feel gassy? Does it feel like it's burning, like I have an ulcer or something? How does it feel after I eat? Do I feel bloated? Am I in pain? Do I have lower back pain after I eat and things like that? A lot of people have IBS. A lot of people have, and that's irritable bowel syndrome. Some other people have inflammatory bowel disorders like Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis. I cannot talk today. It's been a long day. But ulcerative colitis and things like that. So there are diseases that impact the gut. But other people, might have celiac disease, right? Celiac disease is where you can't really absorb processed gluten. It causes like an autoimmune attack. So, even if you don't have celiac disease, you could be very sensitive to gluten or say pesticides used on breads, wheat, things like that, or corn or GMO type of things. Again, everyone has different sensitivities to food. When you have an autoimmune disease, you tend to have more sensitivities to food. So again, I would just double check, how your body's feeling. And again, that health checker is great because if all of a sudden you realize like every time I eat lunch, I feel horrible. Every time I eat dinner, I feel horrible for like 30 minutes afterwards or something like that. If you notice that you don't feel good, right after a meal or 30 minutes after a meal, right? You have lower back pain only after you eat, or you feel really sleepy right after you eat. You might have blood sugar problems, or you might have gut issues, right? So I think that, using that workbook, using that 30-day mushroom challenge workbook to really listen to your body, see what you're putting in your body for different meals, and how that's impacting your health is so important. So again, sometimes it's not the supplement that's the problem. Sometimes it's our diet. Sometimes, again, it's our gut health. So I would say, look there. Other reasons too why sometimes you might not feel the effects of supplements is that sometimes people will take a whole bunch of supplements at the same time. And it sounds like more pills, more supplements might be good, but sometimes supplements can actually cancel each other out. And so I would say if you are having an issue where you're like, I'm not feeling it, make sure you don't take any other supplements with it. Space it out maybe 2 or 3 hours before you take something else before or after it, and see how that works. Drink it with water. See how drinking it with water impacts you. See how taking your supplement with food impacts you. Some people do better on an empty stomach. Some people do better on a full stomach. Everyone's a little bit different. The other thing too is that, again, you might have a medical condition where you might actually need a little bit more of the supplement. So for example, lion's mane, right? That's one is in focused performance. It's something that really helps you, improve your focus. But if you have a disorder like ADHD, attention deficit disorder, you might need slightly more, than the average person that doesn't have severe focus or attention problems. So again, dosing is important, right? How severe is, the thing that you're trying to use these supplements for. Again, no supplement can replace completely a medication or something like that. But again, if you have more severe focus issues, you might need a higher dose of some of the supplements. Another thing too is weight. So if you do weigh a little bit more than the average person, I would say you might need another pill or two. So there's just things to think about. The other thing too is medications. So some medications can actually inactivate certain ingredients. Again, things that make you sleepy, right, might make it harder for you to focus. And if you're on something that's like a little bit more sedative or something that makes you spacey, right? Like, for example, if you use cannabis every day for pain, you might be a little bit more spacey. You might need to use more lion's mane, more focused performance to focus during the day. So again, take into account what you're using every single day, and try to figure out what is going on there. And again, sometimes it's a collaborative effort. That's what I really love about the Spore Mushroom community, right? You can ask the group, what is going on? Does anyone else have this experience? I use this. Or I have this condition and I'm using this blend. Like, what is this normal? How do I feel? Those kind of things. Like, we're here for you. Unfortunately, even though I'm a brain scientist and a mushroom expert, I don't have all the answers. So I appreciate our community stepping up and being able to share. And of course, I'm always there to help in case there's some misinformation being spread or something like that. But again, I'm not the, total source of all information out there ever. I think that all of us have so much knowledge to share, so much insight, especially when it comes to our brain health or our specific, medical experiences and things like that. So I just wanted to share, we all have different reasons why things may work or why things may not work for us, right? I think that, all wellness is a personalized journey, right? And so I think that between, what we learn, our experts and our community, that we really can, we'll feel confident moving forward with our journey with mushrooms and in health. So let's see. So I think that's all we have for questions today. I do want to remind everyone that you can always DM me, email me at dr@sporelifesciences.com. You can post questions here. Again, anyone can post a question or a comment to the whole Spore community group, and we'll be able to answer it there. You can also ask questions and comments and things like that. But again, we're here for your health journey. So just wanted to say, I hope everyone has a great Wellness Wednesday. This is the Spore Director of Education, Dr. Michele Ross. And I hope everyone, again, has a wonderful evening. Thanks so much for joining in.